Have you ever wondered how the world's first skyscraper looked like? It was the home insurance building in Chicago, built in 1885. This 10-story building may not seem like much by today's standards, but it was a revolution at the time. It was the genesis of the skyscraper era that would come to define city skylines across the globe. The home insurance building was unique, not just in its height, but also in its construction. It had an inner skeleton of steel, a novel concept that allowed for thinner walls and a taller structure. This steel skeleton was the backbone of the building, a design element that would become a hallmark of skyscraper construction. It stood tall until 1931, when it was demolished to make way for the Bank of America building, a testament to the relentless march of progress. That same year, a new giant rose in the skyline of New York City, the Empire State Building, a towering structure that stood as tall as 10 home insurance buildings stacked on top of one another. This was the construction progress humanity had achieved in just 46 years. For 39 years, the Empire State Building held the title of the tallest building in the world, a beacon of human ambition and ingenuity. Now, over half a century later, the Empire State Building is 53rd on the list of the world's tallest constructions, but its legacy remains. The United States, where the skyscraper era was born, set the stage for a global architectural revolution. From Chicago's 10-story home insurance building to New York's towering Empire State Building, they pioneered a new way of building and living. In just 46 years, humanity progressed from a 10-story building to a towering structure like the Empire State Building. The birth of skyscrapers was not just about reaching new heights. It was about pushing the boundaries of what was possible. It was about creating a new vision for our cities, one that reached for the sky. While skyscrapers originated in the United States, they found a new home in Asia, with 80% of the world's skyscrapers located there. This is a staggering statistic that reflects the shift in architectural preferences and economic growth in the continent. Asia, home to some of the world's densest cities and fastest-growing economies, saw an opportunity in the sky. The solution to accommodate the blooming population and business centers was to build upwards, and thus the skyscraper boom began. At the forefront of this vertical revolution is China. With nearly 3,000 skyscrapers piercing its city skylines, China holds the title for the country with the most skyscrapers. It's a testament to the nation's economic prowess and rapid urbanization. But it's not just about the numbers. Each skyscraper is a symbol of ambition, a statement of progress, and a beacon of modernity. But why the fascination with skyscrapers in Asia, and particularly China? The answer lies in a combination of factors. The most evident is the need to accommodate the region's massive population. With limited land space and an ever-growing populace, vertical construction offers a practical solution. Moreover, the economic surge in Asia has played a crucial role. The skyscrapers are not just residential buildings, they are also commercial towers, housing offices, shopping complexes, and luxury hotels. They represent the economic strength of the cities and serve as a testament to the rapid economic growth. However, the skyscraper boom isn't just about practicality and economy, it's also about prestige. Skyscrapers have become a form of status symbol, a way for cities to assert their place on the global stage. They are the architectural embodiment of a city's ambition, a tangible sign of a nation's progress. Yet, while China has embraced the skyscraper revolution, not all of its neighbors have followed suit. Take India, for example. Despite having a population almost as large as China's, India's skyscraper count is 10 times less. China, with its booming economy and growing population, embraced the vertical growth, but its neighbor India didn't follow suit. This divergence in architectural trends between the two nations sets the stage for a fascinating exploration of urban planning and development. Scene script. India, despite having a population almost as large as China, has 10 times fewer skyscrapers. But why? In the vast expanse of its cities, India's skyline tells a different story than that of its Asian neighbor, China. Unlike the towering structures that dominate China's cityscapes, India's urban panorama is largely horizontal, with only a smattering of skyscrapers dotting the skyline. This is not a mere coincidence, but a consequence of strict construction regulations and a unique urban theory that India adheres to. India's approach to urban planning is rooted in a popular theory that postulates an inverse relationship between building height and public safety. According to this theory, towering structures that house large populations tend to lead to higher population densities. This, in turn, can foster a sense of anonymity among city dwellers and potentially lower safety levels within the city. Therefore, to mitigate these risks, India has traditionally opted for a low-rise, high-coverage construction approach. However, this approach has its own set of challenges. As more people flock to the cities, the demand for housing invariably outpaces supply, and when the city can't grow vertically, it expands horizontally. This horizontal expansion often leads to urban sprawl, with cities spilling into their surrounding areas, consuming more land and stretching infrastructure thin. Moreover, the scarcity of land and housing in city centers can drive up property prices, making city living unaffordable for many. Recognizing these challenges, India has recently begun to shift its stance on vertical construction. The country is gradually easing its stringent construction regulations, allowing cities to build higher. As a result, the number of skyscrapers in India is slowly but surely on the rise. To illustrate, there are currently 34 skyscrapers under construction across India, most of them in Mumbai, the country's financial capital. So, while India's cities may not yet rival the towering skylines of Shanghai or Dubai, the winds of change are blowing. India, aiming to balance health, safety and urban growth, is slowly shifting towards building higher. Europe, with its rich history and ancient cities, also resists the allure of skyscrapers. It's a fascinating fact that New York alone boasts more skyscrapers than all of Europe combined. In total, Europe has merely 250 skyscrapers. And get this, half of them are concentrated in just 3 cities. But why is Europe so different? Why has it chosen to retain its low-rise charm in the face of growing urbanization and population density? The answer lies in its rich history and cultural values. Unlike the United States, where cities were still being built from scratch in the 20th century, many European cities have been around for centuries, even millennia. These ancient cities were designed long before the concept of skyscrapers was even a thought. Imagine the city of Rome, with its iconic Colosseum and ancient ruins. The idea of tearing down these historical landmarks to make way for modern skyscrapers is, understandably, unthinkable. Europe's cultural identity is deeply intertwined with its historical architecture, and the preservation of these structures is a priority over the allure of towering skyscrapers. Moreover, there are practical considerations to be taken into account. Many European cities were designed with narrow streets and small city blocks, making them ill-suited to accommodate large skyscrapers. The infrastructure simply isn't there to support the vast amount of resources and people that skyscrapers demand. However, it's not to say that Europe is completely resistant to change. There are modern skyscrapers in cities like London and Frankfurt, but these are the exceptions rather than the rule. Europe's approach to urbanization tends to favor preservation and renovation over new construction. This philosophy is reflected in their urban planning policies, which generally discourage the construction of skyscrapers. In conclusion, Europe's scarcity of skyscrapers is not due to a lack of technological capability, but rather a conscious choice. A choice to prioritize history, culture, and sustainable urban planning over the race to touch the sky. Europe, valuing its ancient heritage and cultural identity, has chosen a different path than the skyscraper-dominated landscapes of other continents. The world's cities are constantly evolving, and so is the future of skyscrapers. We've seen them rise, quite literally, from the 10-story home insurance building of 1885 to the majestic Burj Khalifa, piercing the sky at over 2,500 feet. What does the future hold for these urban giants? One of the key trends is sustainability. As we grapple with the realities of climate change, the onus is on architects and urban planners to design buildings that are not only visually stunning, but also environmentally friendly. We're talking about skyscrapers equipped with solar panels, wind turbines, and rainwater harvesting systems. Imagine a high-rise that generates its own power, recycles its own waste, and contributes positively to the local environment. This is not a futuristic dream, it's a necessity, and it's happening now. Another trend shaping the future of skyscrapers is advancements in technology. From smart glass that adapts to sunlight to elevators that move sideways as well as up and down, technology is reshaping the way we design and interact with tall buildings. But it's not just about the gadgets and gizmos. Technology is also enabling us to construct buildings faster, safer, and with less disruption to the surrounding environment. And then there's the changing urban landscape. As cities continue to grow and space becomes a premium, we're likely to see more mixed-use skyscrapers. These are buildings that house residential, commercial, and recreational facilities all under one roof. Imagine living, working, and playing without ever having to leave your building. It's a concept that's already taking hold in some parts of the world and is likely to become more prevalent. As we look towards the future, the skyline of our cities may continue to rise, but how and where this happens will always be a reflection of our values and priorities. The skyscraper of tomorrow will not just be taller, but smarter, greener, and more integrated with the fabric of our urban lives.